In the octagon, two titans stand facing each other, their muscles taut and sweat glistening on their skin. The air is charged with anticipation as the crowd roars in excitement, waiting for the ultimate showdown between Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier. Both fighters have trained tirelessly for this exact moment, honing their skills to perfection in order to emerge victorious. The stakes are high and the tension palpable as they prepare to unleash all of their power and skill upon each other. In this clash of champions, only one can emerge triumphant. The main event of UFC Vegas 75 was one for the record books. Cannonier's steadfast pace was the narrative of the fight, as he tallied 249 major strikes, including 90 in round 2, to set a new record for the middleweight division. Cannonier, despite being hurt in the first round, won round 2 10-8 by completely dominating Vettori. From there, Jared never let up on the throttle and cruised to an easy decision win. Cannonier, who is now 39 years old, looks vastly different from the version of himself who competed for gold at UFC 276. With this win, Jared extends his winning streak to 2 fights. His only 2 defeats in the prior 5 years were at the hands of Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker. In a highly anticipated UFC main event, Jared Cannonier showcased his striking power against Marvin Vettori, stamping his name in the history books. Cannonier's volume of strikes was unmatched as he secured a unanimous scores of 49-45, 49-45, and 48-46 in his favor after an intense 5-round battle. After falling short against title holder Israel Adesanya last year, Jared Cannonier viewed his UFC Fight Night showdown with fellow former title challenger Marvin Vettori as a golden opportunity. This was his chance to earn another shot at the title. Displaying an impressive performance, Cannonier secured a resounding unanimous decision over Vettori. This will place him in contention for the coveted 185-pound title. Apart from his 2 losses to Adesanya, Vettori boasted an impressive 9-1-1 record in the UFC, with his only other defeat coming against Robert Whittaker. Meanwhile, Cannonier had amassed a 6-2 record in the middleweight division. He recently transitioned from heavyweight to light heavyweight before setting at 185 pounds. His defeats also came against Whittaker and Adesanya. The fighters touched gloves to begin the main event. Cannonier was fighting aggressively from the beginning of the fight, but a left hand from Vettori wobbled Cannonier, and Vettori went on the attack as he attempted to finish the fight quickly. Cannonier weathered the storm, and he seemed to have recovered as the fighters traded hard straights. Both men started attacking the body as the round progressed, but the bulk of their respective strikes remained targeted towards the other's heads as they looked to secure early finishes. Vettori stunned Cannonier with another left hand, but Cannonier recovered quickly, this time attacking Vettori with a series of kicks. Both fighters landed heavy punches early on, momentarily rocking each other. However, neither could secure a swift knockout. Vettori enjoyed a significant moment in the opening seconds of the fight. He landed a powerful left hand that visibly staggered Cannonier. Seizing the opportunity, Vettori launched a flurry of strikes. But moments later, Cannonier delivered a devastating punch that demanded Vettori's attention. These heavy-handed middleweights continued to exchange blow after blow, each landing damaging strikes. This was a very entertaining opening round, with both fighters landing heavy shots throughout. Despite Cannonier being renowned for his one-shot knockout ability, Vettori seemed unfazed. He opted for a pure striking battle. He successfully landed significant blows whenever Cannonier stood stationary, within punching range during the opening round. However, Cannonier flipped the script in the second round. He unleashed his power with each punch, while Vettori struggled to mount an effective offense. Vettori worked his jab to begin the second round, prompting Cannonier to flurry forward with a series of heavy hooks. A huge right hand from Cannonier just missed its target, drawing an audible gasp from the Apex crowd. Cannonier really started pouring it on as he attempted to finish the fight, but Vettori has an iron chin, refused to go down. Eventually, a leg kick from Cannonier sent Vettori to the floor, and Cannonier followed him to the ground as he attempted to finish the fight. Cannonier was destroying Vettori with some of the hardest ground-and-pound shots imaginable, and while Vettori made it back to his feet, Cannonier was relentless, attacking the head of Vettori with hooks thrown at full force. Vettori was rocked as he has never been before, and yet somehow, Vettori remained on his feet. The Killer Gorilla unleashed a barrage of punches right from the start of the round, catching Vettori off guard and forcing him on his back foot. A well-placed kick sent Vettori to the canvas. It allowed Cannonier to pounce with heavy punches from the top position. Although Vettori managed to regain his footing, Cannonier relentlessly pressed forward, connecting with hooks. This left Vettori battered and bloody. Unfazed by Vettori's resilience, Cannonier continued his assault. He landed powerful punches and knees that drew blood and left Vettori reeling whenever the fight returned to the feet. In the final 30 seconds of the round, Vettori managed to land a few punches, reminding Cannonier of his presence. Vettori had eaten an insane number of strikes, but he still fired back to end the round, showing that he was somehow still in this fight. The fighters traded heavy shots in the opening minute of the third round before Cannonier unsuccessfully shot for a takedown. Cannonier was still throwing some absolute bombs Vettori's way, but Vettori was throwing heavy shots in return, ensuring that the third round would not be the wash that the previous round was. Cannonier caught Vettori with one of the hardest right hands that I've ever seen a fighter just eat before Cannonier secured a takedown, catching Vettori with another bomb as he picked himself up. Vettori's toughness and rapid recovery were on full display in the third round. He fearlessly kept his ground and engaged Cannonier. While Cannonier's pace slowed somewhat, he still managed to briefly take Vettori down. He wisely exploited the advantageous position, resulting in blood flowing from Vettori's nose. Despite landing clean strikes of his own, Cannonier soon regained control. He timely incorporated a takedown into his striking arsenal. Just when Cannonier appeared to have the momentum firmly in his favor, Vettori rallied back into the fight. Vettori had no answers for Cannonier's unrelenting pressure, but a misstep from Cannonier allowed Vettori to secure a takedown momentarily, buying himself some time before Cannonier's onslaught of offense continued. Undeterred by the damage sustained, Vettori relentlessly pressed forward, briefly flooring Cannonier and launching flurries of punches on the feet. A right hand from Cannonier found its target in the opening minute of round 4. Cannonier changed levels and took Vettori down, but could not keep him there for any substantial amount of time. Cannonier worked his jab back on the feet, and Vettori was having trouble dealing with it for a little bit of time before eventually countering with some low right hooks. While this was a much closer round than the previous two, I still thought this was a round for Cannonier, whose activity continued to be overwhelming for Vettori at times. For the majority of the 25-minute time, the fight predominantly remained a striking battle. There were a few successful takedowns by Cannonier as he continued his offensive onslaught. Vettori displayed unwavering determination to keep fighting. Cannonier broke the record for the most significant strikes landed in a middleweight bout, with a total of 241 according to UFC stats. The back-and-forth exchanges continued into the fourth round, with both fighters exchanging punches and kicks. Cannonier, however, mixed up his attacks by executing a clean takedown. Vettori went on the attack at the start of the final round, likely with the knowledge that he was in need of a finish. Cannonier remained the heavy hitter, however, and it did not take long for him to put Vettori on the retreat following numerous right hands. Despite his output, Cannonier had not slowed at all by this final round, and he was still throwing every shot with immense power, really looking to end the fight. A right hook from Cannonier seemed to stun Vettori, and he proceeded to take Vettori down with just over a minute remaining in the bout. Cannonier started to throw down brutal ground-and-pound strikes. Vettori swiftly worked his way back up and returned to the center of the octagon. Cannonier's left jab repeatedly found its mark, setting up a devastating combination. With only 5 minutes remaining, Cannonier continued to connect with significant strikes, snapping back Vettori's head. In a display of unwavering resilience, Vettori tirelessly fired back. Cannonier was left wondering what it would take to put his opponent away. Despite Cannonier's continued assault, he managed to bring the fight to the ground with just 90 seconds left, unleashing heavy ground and pound. Cannonier appeared close to a finish, but Vettori courageously rose to his feet. The final moments of the fight played out in the clinch until the final horn. The judges' scorecards unanimously declared Cannonier the victor with scores of 49-45, 49-46, and 48-46 after an enthralling 5-round encounter. Although Cannonier knew that he was not the immediate next in line for the title shot, he made it abundantly clear during his post-fight interview with Paul Felder that he is ready and willing to step in if the UFC's plans change. He said, quote, I want the title shot. That's what I'm here for. I want the title. I'm willing and ready if anything happens or anything to get me to that title shot. The UFC had previously confirmed that the upcoming UFC 290 bout between Discus du Plessis and former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker would determine the next challenger for Israel Adesanya. With both Vettori and Cannonier having previously fallen short in their bids to dethrone Adesanya, The winner of their bout appeared poised to secure the next opportunity for a championship showdown. As the final bell rang, the dust settled on a monumental night for Jared Cannonier and his pursuit for the middleweight title. With a record-breaking display of striking prowess, Cannonier left an incredible mark on the UFC Vegas 75 main event. His victory over Marvin Vettori catapulted him into the spotlight, making it clear that he's a force to be reckoned with in the division. Though he fell short against Adesanya and Whitaker in the past, this win has propelled him back into contention. Cannonier's words echoed throughout the arena, a bold declaration of his ambitions. The stage is set, and the UFC landscape eagerly awaits the next chapter in this middleweight saga.